Today we'll be cutting this darker garnet here, and we're gonna try something different. We're gonna try one of these unique shapes. I don't know if these are for pendants, maybe they got some magical powers. This one says Final Dungeon. We gotta have one that matches that stone. It's a tribal Christmas pendant, epic, epoch. I think you pronounce that Valiant. So this matches the stone, actually. The depth of the stone, the shape. So with this one, we gotta cut the girdle first. So let's get it lined up and you can see how thick it is. It's pretty thick. We have a diamond shape with our girdle now. And we don't know how big the 96 and 48 facets need to be. We don't know. But here's our shapes. We have the right shape now. The most material needs to be there in the middle, which we do. That's right. And so as we do these facets here, which are all going to be basically the same angle, we'll figure out how wide this needs to be. Okay? So we've got to do these facets to finish these facets. And this is on the pavilion. So we've done the girdle. Now we'll move down to P1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we'll go back and recut the girdle to figure out how wide these should be, here and here. We have our pavilion roughed in with 180 grit. We have the overall shape set up now. There's a big inclusion at the tip of the pavilion, unfortunately. So it won't be a perfect garnet. It's just in a really bad spot. So now we've got to get our girdle level. As you can see, it's lower here than here as we try to figure out these facets. And we cannot polish each level as we go because every level basically changes the angles. So we go 60, 45, 45, 41.39, 60, 46.07. Every angle basically changes all the way through. And you have to figure out the meet points. You just can't spin the stone around, do them all the same. All right, so this is what we're trying to get to, this shape here. We're getting close. We have the outline basically. It's basically roughed in at this point, like someone would do on a lap wheel. So we're gonna move down. We're gonna do the girdle and move down to 600 grit. Well, it's taken about 2 hours with 600 grit to get it to this point. All of our meet points are lining up. It's symmetrical as it needs to be. The issues are there is an inclusion right there in the front, the bottom, at 5 o'clock, and a real big inclusion underneath the tip of the pavilion. So I'm wondering if I should make this the table. And if I table the top of that, it might take out that inclusion. You can kind of see how deep it is. If I tabled that, it might take it out. That's the only way to get around it. So you can let me know in the comments if I should just table this side and basically flip-flop the stone. So as we're making the pavilion here, go ahead and put a table on here like this over here, and then turn this into the pavilion and keep these steps cut going. So have this 1, 2, 3, 4. So instead of just being 2 here, make it 4, and this will be the pavilion. That's the only way to deal with that inclusion. I think that's what they would do in foreign countries. They would just get rid of that inclusion no matter what. So how about that? Flip-flopping the crown and the pavilion. Let me know in the comments what you think. You probably say it's gonna mess up the brilliance, but no one's really gonna care. If it has that big inclusion, it's kind of worthless. So there you can see the inclusion in the top left side, but it's not very deep. You see that? You can see it right up there in the top left. That's the depth of it. It would be smarter for me to just recut the whole pavilion again. And this is probably like 4 or 5 hours of work already. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm just going to have to recut the pavilion again. See that? You can see the depth. It's really the only solution that makes sense. The brilliance and everything will be off if I try to flip-flop the crown of the pavilion. And the inclusion's not that deep, so it's better to keep going because I have so much material here for the girdle. It doesn't matter. I have too much material, in fact, for the crown down here. So unfortunately, I wasted half a day, but that's how it goes when faceting. You're dealing with problems unless you're using synthetic material. So I am grinding the pavilion back down. You see that inclusion right there. And we're going to use 180 grit to get to it and then refacet the entire pavilion. But the girdle is already set, so it won't be that bad. Probably an hour to 2 hours. I'll let you know. We've gotten through the inclusion with 180 and 600 grit. And we've brought our girdle down. That's how much girdle we lost getting that inclusion out. So there's still plenty of girdle to do the crown. It's got a little bit left there. It's plenty. And you can see where it came down here as well. So that was the best solution, just to start over. And now we've got to refacet the rest of these angles on the pavilion. We've got our stone polished back to 600 grit. All the inclusions are out. So now it's time to really polish it to 3,000 grit, 8,000, 60,000. We got our meet points good. Our girdle looks good. So let me polish this down and I'll show you. They're overcutting very easy with 1,200 grit, so I'm just gonna use the 8,000 to even it all up, but we got it pretty symmetrical at this point. So let's finish up the polishing and see what we got. Okay, so when you want to cheat, you figure out where your stone's touching the lap and then you put the polish right there and you can just build it up. For example, mine's hitting here, so I can just hit it right there and just build up a nice cake. It's 8,000 grit, right? And it'll polish super fast, like 10 times faster than normal. So that's how I do my girdle on a big stone like this. The stone looks great at 8,000 grit. It's got a little haze from the polish, but it's gonna look great at 60,000. You can see our girdle is only polished at the top and not polished the bottom because it's gonna get cut out on the crown. So it's like that all the way around at 8,000 grit. The bottom is not getting polished. And there is some haze on there from the 8,000 grit. I like to cake it on there. We got a little teeny sliver of girdle there. Just enough. And there's 60,000 grit. And we'll put it in the dot transfer and flip it over. One little inclusion right there on the top of that facet. Other than that, it's perfect inside and out. And again, this is our design. So we did the pavilion on the right side. The left side is a step cut. Those are always fun. So that's what's gonna happen on the other side. It's a mixed cut. We have our garnet flipped over. And here's the crown. And here's the problem. That's our skinny little girdle there. That's what we gotta work with. And we're starting this side at 37 degrees. And so what we got going on here is, it's a step cut on the crown. So that's how it looks with 180 grit. We did that to save like an hour working on the crown. And when you buy a preform, it looks like that. It's ground down like that, getting the inclusions out. But now we've got the shape of our crown. And just barely enough girdle to make it work. That's what we had to do. But being a dark garnet, that's better. The thinner the girdle, the better. That's more light in. It won't be such a thick stone. So it'll look lighter. So we're working it down with 600 grit, and we have to get that out of the bottom there. Got to get that flat. And that's what's making our girdle so thin. We could have had a thick girdle. That's the way it goes. We've got to get that down. So we keep grinding, and then I'm going to match up the other facet next to it the same. Here's a little edge issue on the girdle, and we may just polish the girdle down with 8,000 grit to get rid of that. And that's what it looks like it's going to have to happen. I've got my meet points. They go up to the table. They're correct. But our girdle's too thick on these two facets. So it seems like the lesser of the two evils, because that's a nice size girdle right there. So that's what we'll probably do. On the dot transfer, it wasn't a perfect lineup. So I'm adjusting for that basically the rest of the way. On the second set of facets, C2, do not bring it in that far. Just go halfway down from the tip to the girdle. Because on your 8,000 grit, you will cut it too far. That's always going to be a problem on step cuts. So only do half. And we're going from 37 degrees to 25 degrees. And we're using 1200 grit. So you can see on here, I've only gone halfway, and I'll get the rest of it with 8,000 grit. And it's going to happen very quick, and that's 1200 grit. Okay, we polished it, but it did not bring that facet down at all because the angles are so different. So I went ahead and brought it down with the 1200. It's only going to bring it down like maybe a quarter millimeter when you polish it. So that's what we had to do. And this is the look we're going for. We've got our C2 facet, polished to 60,000 diamond grit. And the stone is absolutely perfect inside. So now I'll go to C3, which is a very small facet. Right there is the C3. And then our table. Our next facet is at 18 degrees. It's a very, very steep angle and dangerous angle. This type of angle will tear the stone off the dop. So when you're faceting here, do not go past the center point, which is this line here. Go with the grain and stay over here. You might hear it catch here and you're gonna see your stone get thrown off. but it won't happen until you get past this point. So play it safe and just go over here and slow it down, add water, whatever it takes, so that stone does not catch. $60,000 grit. Our facets are a little too big, so that's gonna shrink our table down some. We've got the crown finished, table level, and we hit these two girdle sides to thicken them up a little bit on here and here.